Okay, happy Monday. Good morning, everybody. We can see, and I can see viewers. Hello, hello. Lakasan ko lang yung microphone. Okay, there you go. Happy Monday again. It's Coach Isa. Baka naninibago kayo, wala akong buhok ngayon and I don't have the background. Kasi pag nag-background ako, lalong din yung makikita ang may buhok ko. So, hindi pa siya kita kasi black din yung likod. So, it's Monday. Happy Monday sa inyo. Coffee tayo. And as promised, we are going to have videos released every Monday, every week, one video, hopefully. So next week, we are going to have another video. And I was thinking, maybe it's about branding naman. So balik tayo sa social media again. So we are going to be discussing branding for real estate professional clients since ito yung isa sa mga tasks na ginagawa natin as a real estate virtual assistant. So that's what we are going to do. Or that's what we are going to be discussing next week. Hello, Nico. Good morning. Ayan. So today, I'm going to be discussing with you successful tips for real estate cold calling. Okay, yun yung magiging topic natin for today. And I think I wasn't able to really discuss with you common objections that you are going to get as a real estate cold caller, and possibly during your interview, as I have mentioned during the webinar, you will have mock call. Hi, Hannah. Good morning. You will have mock call interview with your clients right there and then, di ba? So, possibly magkaroon sila ng mga rebuttals sa inyo. So, baka during interview, pag hindi niyo nasagot yung mga rebuttals, mahihirapan kayo, mauutal kayo, etc., etc. So, yun yung, bigyan natin siya ng mas linaw ngayong linggo. Kasi last week talaga, I wasn't really ready to give out that lesson yet. Pero dahil nga hindi tayo makatawag sa REI reply, puro voicemail yung nakukuha ni Nico and ni Gail last week, I have no choice but to discuss yung common rebuttals. Ayun. Okay, so hello. So let me share my screen real quick. Ayun, madami din tayong hello sa mga viewers natin sa TikTok. Good morning. Ayan. Okay. Let's see. Kita nyo na ba yung screen ko? Kita nyo na? Kita nyo na ba, guys? Hello? Let me know kung kita nyo na. Okay. Tingnan natin. Hindi ko lang kung kita nyo na eh. Hello sa mga nasa TikTok. So, habang inaantay natin sa YouTube kung kita nyo na ba. Ayan, kita na nila. Okay, kita na ni Nico. So, ayan, cold calling success tips. Dito muna tayo magsisimula. Okay? So, let's start with number 1. First, cold calling success tip is you have to have the right attitude. O, di ba? Ipasok natin dito yung kanta na mindset ba mindset. Okay? As the saying goes, 90% of everything in life is attitude. And before you ever pick up the phone, you need to have the right attitude. Give yourself a little pep talk each time and remind yourself, hey, I can sell this person. Okay? So, before, ganito din ako. Kasi nung time na nag-start ako as a cold caller, lalo na nung mga parang mga 1 week after, tapos wala akong nakukuha ang leads. Kasi nga, I feel like cold calling really is not for me. Sales is not for me. Calling is not for me in general, diba? So, saan po makikita? Guys, naka-live kami sa YouTube. So, doon nakikita yung presentation ko. You can go to YouTube, it's Rebuttals, or you can go to the link in our bio para makita ninyo yung YouTube channel. Okay? So, when I was starting nga, I feel like calling is not really for me. I came from the BPO, pero pag iniisip ko talaga ngayon, hindi ko alam kung dahil lang ba sa anesthesia yun, or hindi ko na talaga matandaan kung ano ba yung calls na ginawa ko before, paano ko ba hina-handle yung mga hindi ko na talaga matandaan. So, I really belittle myself na hindi ako makakakuha ng lead ngayon, parang papasok ka na naman tapos wala ka na naman makukuha. Parang meron kang fear every time na pumapasok na, ito na kaya yung last day ko kasi baka may na naman ako makakuha ng lead. Magalit na yung client ko, tanggalin na lang ako bigla. Diba? So, reality is, in being a cold caller and an appointment setter, yung ang tawag dito, yung barrier mo or yung parang the way for you to get hired is really low. So low barrier yung entry ninyo as a real estate cold caller and an appointment setter because everyone can do it. Everyone can talk in English, everyone can say the script that will be provided by your real estate professional client. So, kayang-kaya ninyong gawin. Kayang-kayang gawin ng kahit sinong tao yun. And if you're not producing, if you're not providing leads to your clients, mas madali yung replacement. Mas madali nila kayong palitan. Kasi nga, madami silang pwedeng hanapin na gumawa ng tasks na yon. Kaya so, ganoon ako lagi. So, lagi kong iniisip, shit, baka this is my last day na, naka-live pala tayo sa YouTube. So, baka hindi na ako magkaroon ng work bukas, baka tanggalin na ako ni client bukas. So, parang binibilittle ko yung sarili ko. And, contrary to that, dapat pala may right attitude ako na every time pumapasok ako, I'm manifesting, hindi, I will be able to get leads this day. I started parang picturing myself getting 3 leads a day, closing 3 deals a day. Parang ganun yung ginagawa ko noon. And I'm not sure how manifestation work. I'm not really an expert when it comes to manifestation. But somehow, nung time na sinasabi ko sa sarili ko yon na hindi makaka-close ako ng deal ngayon, makaka-close ako ng lead ngayon, somehow talagang nangyayari siya. So, you should really have a right attitude in life. I remember one TikToker as well, sabi niya na life is like a search engine na para siyang Google. Whatever it is that you are searching, yun yung mag-manifest sa buhay mo. So, the same way, while you're calling, you have to have a right attitude, right mindset. Before you even call, kailangan kinakausap mo na yung sarili mo na talagang nandoon at makakakuha ka ng lead. Provided po ba yung script? Yes. But provided siya, actually, when you go to YouTube, nandoon yung link, nilagay ko dun yung script na ginagamit namin, so you can go there. Iisa lang kayo ng Reva Global, we are not. We are not associated with Reva Global. Chen, thank you for the follow. So, number 1 yon. You have to have the right attitude. Okay? Now, number 2 is you have to believe in your product. You've got to believe in what you're selling. You've got to believe your product is worth at least 10 times the money and the time your prospect will invest in it. And if you don't believe in the product you're selling, each time you pick up the phone, you will become increasingly unconvincing and robotic. So you have to sell yourself first before trying to sell anyone else. So when I was starting, they provided me with a certain script. And when I was reading that script, ako mismo parang, is this gonna work? Diba? Parang, ano ba to? Parang, magagawa ko ba talaga siya? Like, super haba ng script and I'm gonna say it and I have to practice how to say it. And iniisip ko nun, will people really going to believe me when I say the script? Diba? So, maniniwala kaya sila pag sinasabi ko tong script na to? Diba? So, ikaw mismo, you're doubting yourself. And that's the reason why when you're saying the script na provide sa'yo ni client, you sound robotic, you sound unbelievable. So the clients will immediately drop the call because you don't sound even convincing to them. Okay, so your clients, before they provided you with that script, they already know that it's working and you just have to believe it. You just have to believe that the script will work because your clients are already using it. Second is you have to believe in your product, yung realtor na pinagtatrabahuan mo mismo. So you have to believe in the client that you are working with, na tutulungan niya yung prospect, yung seller, or yung buyer na tinatawagan mo. Okay? So before, I just feel like, okay, sabi kasi, sabihin ko tong script, basahin ko tong script, tumawag ako at sabihin ko tong script and pag nakakuha ko ng client or pag nakakuha ko ng lead, magkakaroon ako ng pera. Diba? So that's just my thinking before. But when I fully realized how the industry works, how cold calling really works, and the time that I really believe that my client will be able to help this prospect sell the property, parang patigilin yung foreclosure, hindi makuha ng ibang tao sa kanya yung bahay na yun, na investment niya, doon parang nag-iba yung mundo eh. 'Di ba? Parang mas the universe is on your side, 'di ba? Helping you close that deal because you already believe in the service that your real estate professional clients can provide to the sellers. Okay, nakukuha niyo ba 'yun? Sige nga, sa mga nanonood. I'm not 100% sure if you're getting what I'm saying, but I'm hoping na talagang nakukuha ninyo. 'Di ba? So, hindi, pero totoo talaga yun, no joke. Nung mga dati, parang may mga tao up until now na pumapasok for the sake of money. May mga tao na pumapasok for the sake of sahod every 15th, 25th, 30th, weekly, depende. Pumapasok para lang sumahod. Pero may mga tao din, at iba yung dating ng mga tao na pumapasok para really to help out the business of the client. Parang you make their business your business. You have to really believe in what you can offer to the people that you are calling. Iba yung dating niya. Okay, so nakukuha niyo ba yun sa mga nanonood dyan? Okay. Number 3 is you have to be persistent. You've got to be willing to keep calling people back again and again until you reach them and they are willing to speak with you. You have to adopt a mentality that you won't quit
and bring that into every sale call you make. When a prospect sees your commitment and dedication, they will become much more receptive to your message. So this one, I have a lot of real estate professional clients na, and I believe sinabi ko na to last webinar, na a no now doesn't mean a no forever. Okay? Hindi man sila magsisell today, possibly they will be able to sell in the next 6 months because yung situation nila nag-iba. Right? Hello, Kat. Ayan, diba? So, baka mamaya, hindi lang pala sila nagsisell this year, but next year, they will be able to sell. So, I have real estate professional clients before na talagang consistent sila in following up with their clients. They are not going to sell this year. I will try to follow up next year. And I do have the notes, diba, na, okay, so parang for example lang to, for example, nung first time niya nakausap si client, sabi ni client, they are not yet ready to sell because they are, meron pang student or meron pang nag-aaral sa family nila. So, for example, your client just took notes and naglagay siya ng follow-up after a year or after 6 months, depende. So, kapag nag-call siya, di ba, pag nag-call si client mo, nag-call back siya dun sa client na yun at pinaliwanag niya what happened during their last conversation, makikita talaga ng prospect na, okay, so this person is persistent, number one. This person is really listening to me because alam niya kung anong nangyari. Alam niya na hindi pa ako nagsisell last year because I still have a student in my family. And kailangan pa namin tong bahay na to dahil mas malapit to dun sa school. Right? And now that the student already graduated, it's time for me to sell. So this person who I already talked to, nakapag-build na ako ng connection, siya na lang yung gagamitin ko, 'di ba? Yung person na laging nandoon, pag kailangan nila kayo, yun yung madalas na nagsisell at nananalo. Okay? So if your clients are like that, and if you are like that, like every call, you think that this is something worthwhile, this is something that we can call back after several months, diba? It's not to take down notes. You don't have to really take down notes on the CRM if you think your clients will not feel na ito ay lead, pero ikaw nag-take down notes ka for a callback, pwede mong tawagan ulit yun. I remember meron akong ganyan. Meron akong isang cold caller in the team before na may mga time kasi guys na inuulit or nire-recycle yung mga calls. So may mga time talaga na maalat yung tinatawag natin na wala kayo nakukuhang lead. Tapos sinabihan ko sila ng ganon na try ninyong tignan kung sino yung mga calls na po pwede ninyong or sino yung mga prospects na po pwede ninyong i-call back. So nagsisave sila sa Google Sheet ng mga phone numbers and information ng mga clients na nakausap nila na possible maging callback. Tapos after nun, itong cold caller ko na to, nakakakuha siya ng lead. So lahat kami nagugulat na, okay, so anong ginagawa mo? Bakit hindi kami nakakakuha ng callback? Parang gano'n, or hindi kami nakakakuha ng lead. Pero ikaw nakakakuha ka ng lead. So what's happening? What's the difference? Diba? And that's the difference pala. Na meron siyang list ng mga 4 callback because nagsisave siya ng mga information. Hindi nyo kailangan isave sa CRM ni client at mag-take down notes doon. Meron siyang separate one. And tinatry niya yung i-callback kasi po pwede naman kayong mag-callback sa CRM ni client, di ba? And somehow, itong mga 4 callback niya, nagiging lead. So, nanalo siya, di ba? Nanalo siya that month. And doon namin na-discover, and that's the time na talagang pinush nung ibang cold caller na makapag-save ng mga information ng mga tao na for callback. So being persistent is something that's gonna help you and your clients in the long run. If you're a cold caller, if you are hiring a cold caller who's like that, it is something worth keeping and worth napasahurin, 'di ba? Kasi again, you're not just going to work for the sake of money, but you are making your client's business your business as well. May binibigay na po ba sa inyo na lead na tatawagan? Yes. Most of the time, the real estate professional clients that you are working with, sila na yung nagpo-provide ng lead sa inyo. And sila na din yung nagpo-provide ng tools, ng pangtawag, etc. etc. Direct client po kayo, yes. We are we do have direct clients, okay? So mga nasa YouTube na, naiintindihan nyo ba ako? Naiintindihan nyo ba yung, yung sense ng sinasabi ko? May sense ba yung sinasabi ko? Okay? So anyway, number 4 is you have to master the pitch. You've got to have your pitch down. That's why scripts are valuable and important. And what are you hoping to get out of the call? You have to know your goal. What is your goal in calling? Is it to close a deal? Is it to find who the decision makers are? Is it to get an appointment? You have to know your goal and tailor your pitch accordingly, because each of these calls will require a slightly different approach. And as I have mentioned to you during the webinar, diba, meron talagang iba't ibang approach in calling. Baka mamaya your clients would just want to get, to get the interest of the sellers. Hindi pa naman talaga siya nagpupush into an appointment. And kapag pinush mo yung appointment, that's the time that the client or the prospect, mas lalong mawawala ng ganang makinig sa calls mo. Diba? Kasi you are too pushy, you are too salesy, right? So ayaw naman ng mga real estate professional clients yun. Okay, so you have to really know the goal of the client that you are working with. Ano ba yung gusto mong mangyari for every conversation? Do you want to have an appointment set? Or do you want to have a closed deal? Do you just want to know who the decision makers are for this property, etc., etc.? Okay? So you have to master the pitch. Always read the script religiously. That's how you can win the people in every call or in every transaction. Okay? Number 5, this is for your real estate professional clients. You've got to have a big claim. Okay, so your claim has to be something a prospect cannot regurgitate. Tama ba yung ano ko? Hirap pa. And a competitor cannot imitate. Your claim must become a hook that sinks so deep in the client that it literally creates a picture they can't erase. So what is an example of this? Okay, so when you're working for, again, a real estate professional clients, for example, you are working for a real estate agent. Kapag real estate agent, normally they have 3 contingencies. So may dadaanan na financing contingency, may dadaanan na inspection, may dadaanan na appraisal. Most of the time, kailangan i-fix yung property para mag-add sa market value. Yung closing, medyo matagal. Kailangan mo pang kumausap ng title company, ng escrow company, ng lender, etc., etc. And most of the time, it takes 3 to 45 months, for 3 to 45 days for every transaction before closing. Diba? So, yun, kapag nagtatrabaho ka ng real estate professional clients. Now, a real estate agent. Now, if you're working for an investor, your big claim will be, you can sell your property to us as is. You don't have to worry about appraisal. You don't have to worry about inspection. Hindi ka na mamomroblema sa open house. You don't have to worry about people coming in and out of your property and worry about your family's health because of COVID, because we are the one who's going to buy your home. So other real estate investors pa nga, they will say na, I don't really have to go there if you feel uncomfortable kasi nga may mga COVID cases pa din. So we can do video call. So ang pwede mong gawin is, I will call you, you will open your camera, and you will tour me around your property. May mga ganun, right? So that's your big claim, that you don't have to worry about 35 or 30 to 45 days na closing. Kasi I can work with you, I have a title company already, and they're the ones going to do all the work. Diba? Yung parang ganon. So that's your big claim. Like, real estate investors, they will buy your property at a very low price. Normally, yan yung sinasabi ng mga clients natin na nilo-lowball kayo. Diba? But, hindi ka na kasi mamomroblema ng kahit ano pa. Hindi ka na magbabayad ng appraisal. Diba? Hindi ka na magbabayad ng inspector, hindi ka na magbabayad ng escrow, hindi ka na magbabayad ng kahit ano, diba? We are going to handle everything. Plus, you don't have to really do any renovations sa property, we can buy the property as is, 'di ba? So that's your big claim. But that's your big claim as a real estate investor. Okay, so again, it has to have a hook na if you are calling me and namumroblema ako kasi kukunin na ng bangko yung property ko and someone is calling me saying na I can put 4,500 or 45,000 in my pocket already, sila nang bahala sa bahay. Why not? Lalo na kung kailangan ko na talaga. 'Di ba? So that's something that I will not be able to erase in my mind for the next few days, 'di ba? So having a big claim is something that will really really help you as a real estate cold caller and appointment setter and your clients in the long run. So you have to know kung anong meron si client mo na wala yung ibang realtors. Okay? Number six is gains and losses. So before making a cold call, many people complain of nervous jitters. No one likes rejection, but that's part of the sales process. Okay? Remember that with each call, sales professionals have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Great salespeople know this, and it serves as a powerful confidence booster and motivator. Okay, so di ba lagi yung sinasabi nung nasa webinar na isang beses mo lang naman yung tatawagan. If they are mad, then that's okay. Diba? So, wala namang mangyayari sa'yo, hindi naman nila mahanap yung bahay mo, hindi ka naman nila mapupuntahan at mababalikan at mathi-threat, diba? Alam mo yan. So, you don't really you have nothing to lose really when every time that you are calling. Instead, meron ka pang magiging. Kasi if that call, ginawa mong okay, nakuha mo yung client, close mo yung deal, magkakaroon ka ng bonus, magkakaroon ka ng hourly rate, di ba, na babayaran sa'yo every weekly or monthly or bi-weekly, depende sa usapan ninyo ni client. So, you just have to put that in mind. Again, okay? So, gains and losses. Number 7 is the best value. Every person must believe that they have the best value regardless of price. What that means is you have to convince yourself that even if you're 4 times the price tag, you are still the best value. Understand what makes you better and why should someone buy your product or service over anyone else, even when it's pricier. So make sure to convince yourself of this value as well as your prospect. So a lot of clients will say na ayoko kasing magbayad ng 3%. Diba? So why should you hire a real estate professional for 3% tapos yung iba 2.5% lang naman okay na sa kanila? Diba? When it comes to commission. Again, when you're working for a real estate agent, they are getting paid through commission, which is normally 6% of the purchase price. Okay, so bakit? And you have to know why. Your clients your clients have a good sales record. So, ganito kabilis nila nasa-sell yung property, ganito yung mga sinasabi ng mga previous people na nakatrabaho na nila. Diba? They are really okay communication-wise. They are always updating their clients. They are providing the best service possible for each transaction. And the clients that they are working with are really well informed about the process because nag-update nga sila. Diba? So what is it that your real estate professional clients have that others doesn't? Diba? So you have to know that. And for you to be able to really understand that, you have to talk to the person that you are working with. Okay? They have to know it. Another example is yung real estate professional clients ko kasi they are born and raised in this specific city. So they really know the ins and outs of this neighborhood. They know kung anong property yung nag-sell, how much is it for, saan yung ganitong best spot, etc., etc. What are the things that the people in that neighborhood are looking for whenever they are buying properties, yung mga ganon. Diba? So, best value of your real estate professional clients. Okay? Make a lasting impression. Yes, that's true, sabi ni Nico. And then last one, number 8 yan, huwag niyo na lang pansinin. Number 8 is respect your prospect. Okay? Treat everyone with, I think this is the second to the last. Treat everyone with respect. Sales reps who are calling people all day can start treating new prospects like the last 8 people they failed to sell. This is a big problem with cold calls, and you need to start fresh with every call and treat each new prospect with respect. You can't hold them responsible for previous failed attempts. That wouldn't make any sense. Okay, so naging problem ko to before, like when I was calling and 8 of the people I called already said no and they are not interested. And then the next person that I'm gonna call, minsan inaantok na ako, diba? So I'm not sure if kayo ganun din, pero may mga ganitong times, especially na we are working night shift normally kapag cold callers, because we should be calling ng morning sa US or morning sa Canada. So that is nighttime sa atin. So minsan inaantok na tayo, minsan nakapikit na, tapos pag magko-call sa'yo, hi, my name is parang wala ka ng gana, 'di ba? Wala ka ng or minsan bad mood ka kasi minura ka nung taong kausap mo before that call, or dinisrespect ka nung kausap mo before that call. So minsan na parang nababaling mo yung galit mo dun sa susunod na kausap na sa susunod na call na makakausap mo, which is not really good. 'Di ba? So every time ang naging habit ko noon when I was calling is ganon. Hingang malalim, 'di ba? So kailangan isipin ko na this is a brand new person. This is a brand new call and a brand new opportunity for me to close. Right? So you have to understand that each call is important, each call is different, and we have to treat it as if it is going to be a lead. So every time you have to smile, you have to treat everyone with respect, 'di ba? So kailangan okay yung pakikisama ninyo palagi. Okay? So when I tried doing that, mas naging okay yung flow ng lead, mas naging okay yung flow ng bonus sa akin, kasi nga I treat everyone with respect. I treat every call as if it's going to close. I treat every call as if it's going to be a verified lead. Okay? Saan po pwedeng mag-apply na platform? You can apply to several platforms like Upwork, onlinejobs.ph, or even in Facebook groups. You can join several Facebook groups. Madaming naghahanap ng mga real estate cold callers and appointment setters. Thank you, Josh or Donyo. Ayan. And then the last one is diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Or in the sales sense, never depend on one call. You need lots of calls to be successful. And if you feel disappointed after being rejected on a sales call, it's because you have too little going on. Disappointment and rejections are not emotions. They are indications that your model is broken and you don't have enough business going on. Okay, so I think I recently had this. I was listening to one of the real estate cold callers that we have. And at that time, during the call, sabi ng client, I have a verbal agreement with one of the investors that I'm working with, and we agreed na parang bibili na nila yung property, right? So after that, what happened was this cold caller, sabi niya, why don't we set up an appointment? Parang ang sinasabi kasi nung nagko-call, nung prospect client is, I decided to call you just in case na hindi mag-close yung deal namin ng investor na yon. At least I have a backup, right? I have a backup plan and I can contact you, and maybe if the deal doesn't push through, ikaw yung second investor ko na po pwedeng tumingin sa property. So instead of pushing for the appointment, pwede mong i-build sana yung confidence ng client na, hey, thank you. Thank you for giving us a chance to be your backup plan. Diba? So, if ever I don't have the information of the property yet, would you be able to give me a little bit information of the property? Like, why are you selling the property? What is the address? What is your asking price? What are the things that I should know about, or the things that the investor that I'm working with should know about the property, right? So, ang nangyari is the cold caller pushed it to the appointment hanggang sa ang naririnig ko na dun sa investor is, um, you know, I'm not I'm not saying na ayokong mag-push through yung transaction, pero I'm just thinking na if in case hindi siya mag-close, meron akong backup plan. 'Di ba? So, sana instead na pino-push natin yung appointment, go to a different approach. 'Di ba? Paano nga naman kung hindi mag-push through yon? At least, hindi man tayo nakapag-set ng appointment, pag tumawag siya ulit, meron tayong information about the property, and that is the key for the investor to close the deal. Paano kung inantay natin na tumawag siya ulit, tsaka lang tayo manghihingi ng information. Tapos malalaman natin na yung investor that we are working with currently, hindi naman pala siya interested dun sa deal. Hindi natin yun malalaman because we don't have information about the property. Right? So, kailangan alamin natin yung different side on every conversation, on every transaction. Okay? All right. So, I think that's the last one. Okay? Now, dito na tayo sa managing client call objections in the real estate industry. So, I already told you this last webinar. Number one, it's never going to be an easy call. Okay? So, lahat ng mga transactions na makakausap natin, hindi siya magiging, yes, I'm calling, yes, I'm waiting for your call actually, at magsisell ako, I'm very much interested, I'm just waiting for you to call me. Hindi siya ganon. Okay? Most of the time, they will say, no, I'm not interested. Ayan, number 3, there are a lot of wrong numbers and not interested. So, they are going to really reject you. And kailangan mong i-ready yung sarili mo sa rejection, because if you are not really a salesperson, kagaya ko, dinibdib ko yun nung nagsisimula ako, diba? I feel like I'm really frustrated and I was second guessing dahil kaya Pilipino ko, kaya ayaw nila sa akin. Dahil kaya hindi ako ganun kagaling mag-English, kaya hindi ako nakaka-close ng deal. And naging anxiety ko siya na every time na papasok ako, is it going to be my last day today? Because I haven't closed any deals yet, diba? So, it's never going to be an easy call. And you have to understand that the reason why they are not interested to sell is because they think you are kinukuha mo yung biggest investment in life nila, which is their house. Pero that's not really the case, diba? So, you have to remember that what we are offering them is help. We are lending a hand. You can't pay for the property yourself anymore. Kasi, for example, they need cash for health purposes, hospital bills, or to pay debt, or ayaw na talaga nila ng property because they had divorce. We are lending a hand para tulungan sila. Okay? So, kapag nagagalit sila sa inyo, huwag niyong isipin na dahil yun sa inyo. Isipin niyo na feeling nila kasi kinukuha natin yung best investment in life nila, which is yung house nila. Okay? So, you have to empathize with the seller, number 2, but you have to prioritize your client. Hindi po pwedeng lahat ng property, kawawa naman kasi. Huwag nating pilitin. Diba? Sayang naman kasi gusto pa nilang i-keep yung property. Hindi siya ganon nag-work, right? So, kailangan ninyong malaman or intindihin na this person we are calling or this list that we are calling right now really needs help, and we have to make them understand why they need us, why they need the real estate professional clients that we are working with currently. Okay, there are a lot of wrong numbers and not interested because normally real estate professional clients will do skip tracing. And as I have mentioned during the webinar, skip tracing works like they are going to scour an entire state or an entire neighborhood about a specific person. So, for example, they are looking for Chen Chen, and Chen Chen lives in Quezon City, for example. So, lahat ng Chen Chen sa Quezon City kukunin nila, and they will have multiple phone numbers and email addresses. So, the first phone number that you will call is most likely not the Chen Chen that you are looking for. Kaya maraming wrong numbers. They will tell you that they are not the property owner. They have nothing to do with that street address. And that's the reason why. Because it's a skip tracing, and again, it's not 100% accurate. Number four, the only way you can confidently manage the objection is when you fully understand the situation, the process, and the market. Okay, so you have to understand that there's a market shift right now. The past few years, it's a seller's market. So talagang kahit na mataas binibenta ng mga sellers yung property, talagang go ang mga buyers. But now there's a market shift, and mas matagal na yung closing ngayon, mas kaunti yung mga gustong bumili because they are a little worried about the mortgage rate, 'di ba? So nagtataas yung rate ng mortgages or ng loans. So you have to understand. The same thing in the process, sabi ko sa inyo kanina, anong difference or ano yung approach ninyo kapag real estate agent yung client ninyo, or ano yung approach ninyo kapag real estate investor yung clients ninyo. You have to understand the situation. Ano bang situation kapag expired yung listing na tinatawagan ninyo? Ano yung situation kapag for sale by owner yung tinatawagan ninyo? Diba? So, you will be able to confidently manage the objection if you know these three. Okay, and then number five, you have to practice your script religiously. I'm not 100% sure if napanood nyo na yung Wolf of Wall Street ni Leonardo DiCaprio, but most of the time, ito yung normally na tinatanong. How are you going to sell a pen sa akin? I'm not sure if Nico is still watching. Nico, na-try mo na ba yon na I'm gonna give you a pen and you have to sell the pen to me? So I think naranasan namin siya sa parang sa live na sige nga bentahan mo nga ako ng bentahan mo nga ako ng ballpen. Yep, oh there you go. How about the others? Kung kayo yung sasabihan ko ngayon, sige nga bentahan nyo nga ako ng pen today. If you haven't watched Wolf of Wall Street, it's a good movie. You can watch it. And I have a little clip here that we can watch. Okay. Let's see. Teka lang. I-refresh ko lang. Sino na mga nakapanood sa inyo nun? Wolf of Wall Street. Sa mga viewers, sa mga nanonood. It's a really good movie, guys. So after this webinar, you can watch that. Yeah. Am I sharing my sound? Yeah, I
am. A sale is made on every call you make. Either you sell the client some stock, or he sells you on a reason he can't. Either way, a sale is made. The only question is, who's going to close, you or him? And be relentless.
Sell me this pen.
It's a amazing pen. For professionals.
Sell me this pen.
It's a nice pen. You can use the pen to write down thoughts from your life so you can remember.
Sell me this pen.
Well, this pen works, and I personally love this pen, and I think
You can sell anything. Sell me this fucking pen right here. You can sell anything. Sell that.
Go ahead. Sell me that pen. Can I finish eating first? I'm eating today.
Brad, show him how it's done. Boom. Sell me that pen. Watch. Go on.
Let me sell this fucking pen.
That's my boy right there.
This pen.
Fucking sell anything.
Why don't you do me a favor? Write your name down on that napkin for me.
I don't have a pen.
Exactly. Supply and demand, my friend.
You know what I'm saying? He's creating urgency.
Hello, Mr. Belfort. Thank you so much for being here. I have one question, and I'm a huge fan of your film, so this just comes quite naturally. Can you please sell me this pen?
You know, no one's ever asked me that before. It's the first time. So let me tell you what that whole exercise really stands for, right? So the whole sell me this pen narrative is really, it's a test that you give to a salesman to see if they really understand what selling's all about. If you ask someone who's not a professional salesman, who doesn't have the right instincts, they'll start actually trying to sell you a pen. This pen is great. This pen writes upside down. It's the best value for its money. This pen will last forever. Buy this pen. Here's the thing. Only one rational thing you could do when someone says, sell me this pen, and that is to start asking them questions. So tell me, how long have you been in the market for a pen? What type of pens have you used in the past? Is it business or personal? Typically when you buy a pen, what type of money do you spend on one? Do you buy expensive pen? The key to selling is to find out, step one, what are your clients' needs, values? What pain are they looking to resolve? What do they need? And you're looking to fill that need at the most basic level, right? Well, when you just go out and try to sell something to someone, what you're saying is, I don't give a shit about you. I'm just going to ram this down your throat, right? I want to know what you need. I want to know what you've done in the past. So you ask questions. If I ask someone, hey, so how long have you been in the market for a pen? They say, oh, I'm not looking for a pen. Great, have a nice day. I don't sell people things that people aren't looking for. I wouldn't try to sell you a pen if you're not looking to buy a pen. So and if someone said to me, I say, wow, this person really knows how to sell. Because the biggest mistake that rookie salesmen make is they try to sell to everybody versus weeding out people who are not interested and only selling to those who are. So I ask questions, but not any question. I ask pointed questions to identify what type of pens you've used in the past, how much money you have. Now, the pen is like a euphemism for any product, right? By doing that, I can get a good sense of what you're about. And then when I'm done asking my questions and I know what I need to know, I'll say, well, based on what you said to me, this pen is a perfect fit. You let me tell you why. And now I'm actually matching my pen to what you need, and I tailor my presentation to fill that need, and it's much more elegant. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Here you go. Kuha niyo ba yun? So, selling is knowing what your clients need. Okay? And you won't be able to do that if you're not gonna ask questions. That's the reason why yung scripts na pinaprovide sa atin ng mga clients natin have questions as well. Kaya din, hindi nakakatakot yung objections. We don't have to be scared about objections because if we are scared about objections or kapag sa tawag, walang mga objections wala masyadong tanong yung client na kausap mo, mas hindi sila interesado sa'yo. Compared to when they are asking you a lot of questions, it means that they are parang nakukuha mo yung attention nila, nakukuha mo yung anong tawag dyan, yung parang nagkakaroon sila ng sense of ano bang tawag doon? Nakalimutan ko yung word, pero parang nagiging interesado sila sa ino-offer mo, kaya mas nag-a-ask sila ng questions sa inyo. Okay, so knowing first what your client's needs are. Bakit siya nasa pre-foreclosure? Bakit kaya siya na-expired? 'Di ba? What are their needs? Baka yung
yung agent na nag-represent sa kanila before was not able to really market the property of the client in the best way. And that's something that your current real estate professional clients can do for them, right? So if we are asking them the right question, we will be able to really get the answer, and we will be able to sell the real estate professional clients that we are working with currently. Okay, so that's that. Again, you will be hearing a lot of no's and a lot of not interested, and that's okay. And you just have to really you really have to see bakit ba sila hindi interesado. Okay, what are the things that we can ask them? Why are they are not interested? You have to make every call, every phone call worth it. Okay? Minsan lang yan sila sumagot. Minsan lang yan sila mag-pick up ng call. So, every call should count. Okay? So, ayan, understanding different approach. Again, if you're working for a real estate agent, then what they want is to represent the seller or the buyer that you are calling. So representing them in the transaction, they are going to be working with the sellers, and sila yung magfa-facilitate ng selling. Okay? So what they want normally is appointments, of course. Schedule an appointment para makapunta sila doon, makapagbigay sila ng listing presentation, and then magpipirmahan, and then sila na yung magre-represent sa sellers. If you're working for a real estate investor and a real estate wholesaler, most of the time they are the ones, kapag real estate investors, they are the ones buying the property. Okay, so gusto nilang humanap ng mga prospect sellers, and then they are the ones going to be the buyer of that property. Real estate wholesaler is they are looking for prospect sellers, and at the same time, sila yung mahanap ng buyer ng property na yon at a higher price, and the difference is yun yung magiging kita nila. Okay? So you have to understand different approach as well. So let me know if you are watching this, what are the next topics that you want to discuss? Do you want me to discuss, halimbawa, script for real estate agents, scripts for real estate investors, and scripts for wholesalers? Is it something that would interest you for the next lessons? Let me know. Okay. Transitioning words, there are a lot of words aside from oh, okay, and you have to say it like you mean it. So when I am listening to cold callers, most of the time, pag sinabi nilang, great, terrific, di ba? Great, fantastic, di ba? Parang walang emosyon. So you have to say it like you mean it. Pag sinabi mo, terrific, fantastic, right? So kailangan taas yung energy, right? So lalo kung maganda naman yung sinasabi ni client, hindi dapat tayo inaantok. That's why coffee is life for work from home professionals or work from home virtual assistants. Kasi nga, most of the time our work schedule is at night. So of course, yung katawan natin naghahanap na ng tulog eh. But we still have to work. And if inaantok tayo, maririnig yun sa ating boses. Okay, so when we are calling. Okay, so I understand, that's awesome. Okay, great, terrific, fantastic. Oh, that's awful. Right? So kailangan naririnig sa boses mo yung emotions mo. Wonderful. So anyways, di ba, pwedeng ganun, oh, I'm so sorry about that. Right? So madaming mga transitioning words that you can find online. Pwede nyo yung i-compile into a document, in a Word document, para meron kayong copy ng sarili ninyo. And you can use it every time that you are calling. Hannah, thank you for the heart. Ayan. So common rebuttals for I am not interested in selling. You have to remember that you have to make every phone call count. Again, most of the time, they are not going to answer your calls. So for example, you are provided with 800 contacts a day. Lalo kung expired listings, probably you will be able to speak to 100 people out of 800. So you have to make every phone call count. So one thing that you can say if they say that I am not interested in selling is not a problem, but do you have any plans on selling within a year or two? If they say no again, then you can ask a question. I understand. Well, perhaps you know anyone who's selling their property across city that you're calling from. So, for example, you're calling from Las Vegas. I understand. Perhaps you know anyone who's selling their property across Las Vegas, right? So, at least hindi mo siya binababa agad after one objection just because they say that they are not interested in selling their property within a year or two. Okay, hindi daw interesado. 'Di ba? Paano kung meron naman pala silang kilala na magsisell in their neighborhood, right? So that's a possible lead. If they are not really interested after your second rebuttals, then that's the time that you can close the call. 'Di ba? So may mga tao na gusto pa nilang i-push yung cold call kapag ganun. Pero may mga real estate professional clients ako na pag sinabing hindi talaga sila interested and you really can hear that they are agitated during the call, just drop it. I don't want to deal with people that are not ready. Para siyang prutas, guys, na if hindi pa sila hinog at pipilitin mong mahinog, pangit yung lasa. Right? So in the long run, tayo lang din yung magsasuffer just because pinilit natin na mahinog tong lead na to, hindi pa nga siya ready to sell. Okay, so are you connected with Reva Global? I am not po. Alright? Number two, another rebuttal that you can say if they mention that they are not interested in selling is, hey, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller, I completely understand, but by receiving an offer, you are under no obligation to accept it. And is there any specific reason you may not be ready to sell yet? Again, sabi nga kanina sa video, right? You have to know their reason why they are not interested to sell yet. And that's the time that you can sell the services of your clients, right? So you are assuring them that when you receive an offer from me today, you are no under obligation to accept it. Okay, so no strings attached. You can we can discuss about my offer. We can discuss a lot of things, but you are under no obligation to accept it. Okay, so now if you're scared, you can ask question na, why are you not ready to sell yet? Is there a specific reason? Right? Maybe, kagaya no example ko sa inyo kanina, that they still have a little kid na in need ng educational facilities na malapit sa neighborhood. And we are gonna be ready to sell after this kid graduate. Diba? Parang ganon. So at least you know if this lead is going to be ready to sell within 5 years time. So pwede tayong mag-call back after a year, after 3 years, baka nag-iba na yung situation nila na yon. Now again, going back to make every phone call count, if they are not really interested, you can just ask them, I understand. May I call you in a month to check in on you and see if your situation has changed? Or depende sa sinabi niya. Baka sinabi niya kasi after 5 years. So you can change it to, may I call you in 6 months perhaps to check in on you and see if your situation has changed. Diba? So something like that. Right? So at least you understand what is the problem, bakit ba hindi pa sila interested to sell. You assure them that they are no under obligation if they are going to, just listen to what you can offer. And then you also was able to ask, when is the right time for me to check in on you? Diba? So you provided everything before you can even end the call, right? So at least you are saying all of that. Number two is they are going to tell you, hey, you're calling a wrong number. This is the wrong person. I am not Mrs. Smith. I am not Mr. Smith, right? So what you can say if they say that is, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. I must have my records mixed up. I just wanted to clarify. I am calling Mrs. Nereza Smith, the property owner of 1255 Main Street. Am I calling the right number? Okay, so verifying the name of the property owner, the address of the property that you are calling. And if they say that, they are not interested, they are not the person that you are calling, and pwede nyo pa rin silang tanungin, okay, that's not a problem. Perhaps you know anyone who's selling their property across the neighborhood, right? So possibly wrong number lang siya, but same neighborhood sila. At least baka meron siyang kilala na maging possible lead ng real estate professional clients na pinagtatrabahuan natin, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is they will be asking you, paano mo nakuha yung number ko? How did you get my phone number? Right? So, and by that time, they are possibly agitated already kasi they have been receiving multiple phone calls from several cold callers. Hindi lang ikaw yung nag-iisang cold caller na tumawag sa kanila. There are several real estate professional clients na nag-hire ng cold callers. So possibly, itong tao na to naka-receive na ng phone calls from other realtors or other cold callers. Plus, hindi lang naman real estate ang may cold callers. So may cold caller ang insurance, ang loan, ang car, mga ganon. So possibly, hindi ikaw yung unang-unang cold caller. So they are pretty much angry and agitated when you call them. So they will tell you, hey, how did you get my phone number? And you can say, we have a very competitive marketing team that either gets it from the public records or county clerk or a software company that we use. But anyways, I was just calling if you are interested to sell your property. You have to go back to the last question that you ask them. So they will throw you off the script every now and then, but you just have to remember, what was the last question I was asking Mr. Seller na hindi niya sinagot? Instead na sagutin ako, ang ginawa niya is nagtanong siya ng objection, right? So you have to remember, go back, pivot to the question that you are asking the sellers or the buyers, okay? Hello. Okay. Number 4 is they will ask you, why are you contacting me? Okay. So why are you contacting me? You can just say that, hey, Mrs. Smith, we are looking to buy property in the area. So that's the reason why we are respectfully wanted to inquire. Okay. So it is respectful. You are just telling them the reason why you are calling the people in the neighborhood. Sinasabi mo lang sa kanila na the real estate professional clients that I'm working with is buying property in the neighborhood that you are in right now. So meron kang excuse somehow. And at the same time, you are telling them that I am respectfully inquiring if you would be interested to sell, right? So next is, why did you think I was selling my house? Right? So, bakit mo ko tinatawagan? Why do you think I'm selling? Right? So normally they will ask that. So your possible answer is, we really didn't know actually if you had any interest in selling, but we are looking for homes in your area, so we wanted to try to contact you. Right? So again, you have an excuse. We are looking for homes in your area. Kaya nagtry kaming mag-contact ng people in the neighborhood. Okay, so but we didn't actually know if meron ka bang interest in selling. Right? So somehow you are giving them excuses and at the same time assurance na hindi naman kami sure na interested ka to sell. Maybe it's just a coincidence, that you are interested to sell your property as well. And at the same time, we are currently looking at your neighborhood and we are contacting the people here if there's someone who's interested to sell the property. Right? So somehow hindi siya creepy if you are the seller, right? Na hindi naman pala niya alam. They don't know me personally, right? So that's number 5. Number 6 is, what is your offer? So ito, most of the time talaga, right off the bat pa nga minsan ito yung tatanungin sa inyo. So, I understand, Mr. Seller, that you want to know what your house is worth. And in order for me to give you an accurate number, I need to ask you some questions about the property to figure that out. So Do you maybe have 5 minutes to answer some quick questions about the property? So again, we have 4 pillars in prospecting. We have the price or asking price, the condition of the property, the motivation, what is their reason to sell, and ano pa yung isa? Their time frame. When are they interested to sell? Right? So, for me to be able, kasi baka tanongin nila sa inyo, bakit kailangan mo pa ng 5 minutes? Bakit wala ka pang offer? 'Di ba? Hindi mo ba ni-research yung property ko? Right? So, possible yan. Like, they are going to ask you, hindi ka ba nag-research before ka tumawag sa akin? 'Di ba? So, what you can say, pag sinabi nila yan is, I have all the information from Zillow. However, we are not 100% sure if you've done anything, any renovation inside the property, right? Possibly it's not marketed in Zillow, but if everything that I need to know about the property is in Zillow or in the MLS, and then that's not a problem. I can do a research about it, right? So pwede yung excuse yun. Like, hindi naman kayo sure, baka mamaya may ginawa pala silang renovation just recently, right? So, the reason why we are asking them 5 minutes to answer some quick question is because we want to know the 4 pillars in prospecting. Okay, so we want to know what's their motivation, and possibly it's not in Zillow, hindi naman nila yun nilalagay. They ask me that too, I don't have the offer when I'm calling them already. Yes, that's correct, right? So, talagang tatanungin nila yan sa inyo, right? So, you don't know their motivation, right? So, how motivated are they to sell, diba? So, out of 10, gano yung rate nila in selling, right? So, before you can really provide an accurate offer, people will just throw you offers here and there, but it's not really accurate. But if you are 100% ready to sell and interested to sell and motivated to sell, I have to ask you a quick question for me to accurately provide you with an offer, right? So, pwede nyo sabihin yun when they are calling, right? Or when you are calling, right? 7 is, ito, naging takot ko to before. Like, when we are real estate cold callers, tapos nasa Pilipinas pa tayo, tapos tatanungin nila kayo na, do you have a real estate license, right? So parang ako nun, naliliit na talaga ako na I don't have a license, right? And I don't even think na what I'm doing is legal. So parang nanliliit ka sa sarili mo when you are calling them. But this is a good rebuttal when you are asked that objection. So you can say to them, no, I don't actually, but the real estate professional client that I'm working with currently has a real estate license. So what I can do is I'm going to send along their information as well as a little bit information about the company that I'm working for as well, if that's okay with you. Sounds good? Okay, so parang dinadrive mo sila into, I'm gonna give you a business card and the flyer of all the information that you need to know about the client I'm working with and his company. And then we can proceed with the other information that I can get from you, right? So it's a yes or no. May real estate admin ba kayo? There are actually a lot of real estate admin for Reva. So, madami actually. Okay, so ganun yung po pwede yung i-drive. Okay, parang dinadrive mo sila into saying, okay, I think that sounds good. Right? So at least hindi ko na kailangan i-explain sa'yo ngayon, or possibly may iba na you can check www.abccompany.com. That is the company that I'm working with, and the information about the real estate professional clients that I'm working with is there as well. And the license, right? So, may mga tao na, may mga real estate professional clients na ayaw nilang i-provide yung information nila right off the bat kasi baka yung tinatawagan ninyo is nasa DNC list or nasa do not call list, and possible na anong tawag doon? Parang masu sila ng mga sellers na yon. So, just be careful if your clients would want you to share their contact information. If not, kailangan malinaw yun before you cold call. Kasi baka mamaya i-provide ninyo yung name and company nila tapos ayaw naman pala nila yun. right? So you have to say that, or you have to ask that to your real estate professional clients, okay? So that are some of the most common objections and rebuttals that you can use as a real estate professional client, and some successful tips for you to become a real estate cold caller. Okay, so do you have any questions so far that I can answer? Meron ba sa mga nanonood? Uy, thank you, Miss Simbanes. Ayan. Sa mga nasa YouTube, meron ba kayong mga question, guys? Again, next week I'm planning to discuss branding for branding for Reva. So, babalik tayo sa social media. Yun yung bala kong i-discuss next week. So, I hope that you are going to join me next week again, Monday, 9 a.m. Thank you to Cookie. Thank you sa tips, ma'am, kasi cold caller din ako sa property management. Hi, Bautista. Hi, John Eric. Thank you. Actually, pag property management naman kasi, guys, normally, ang mga tinatanong nyo dyan, like, for example, they are experiencing mga problems, right, during renting. So, baka may nasira, right? May mga nasira sa, wow, you're so pretty. So, halimbawa, may nasira sa house, right? Nagsusulat ako ng script ngayon. You can go back to our YouTube channel, John Eric. Meron ako dung script na pre-provide, nakapin siya sa comment section. Maybe you can use that too. And I think it's a good thing na gawa din ako ng separate video for cold callers ng property management. Right? So, I experienced before wherein I'm setting up, or I'm answering calls because they have questions or requests dahil nasira yung sa CR, nasira yung lababo, yung mga ganyan. So, pwede yun. Gawa tayo ng separate topic for property management. I think that's gonna be helpful. Yeah, yes, thank you. I saw someone saying kung meron bang admin ang Reva. There's a lot of tasks actually as a Reva. Hindi lang siya for cold calling, which is the misconception of real estate VAs is akala nila for cold call lang ang Reva, but not really eh. Reva is a lot. You can be a social media manager for a real estate professional client. You can be marketing. So parang gumagawa ka ng brochures, flyers, business cards, nagpo-post sa social media, ayan. Ano po ang YouTube link? So punta ka lang sa Revassist, REVASSIST. That's the name of our YouTube channel. And there's a lot of webinars there. So, pwede mo siyang balikan. Ayan. So, next Monday, again, I'm hoping to discuss branding for Reva. Pwede nating i-discuss yon kasi I have an inquiry in our Instagram account and sinabi niya doon na, I need help with my branding. And sabi ko sa kanya, your social media currently is missing an important branding element na kailangan sa brokerage mo, right? So, which is the owner statement. If you're a social media manager for a real estate professional client, you should know what is a statement of ownership is, diba? So, ano yun? Ano yung statement of ownership and why is it important? Especially if your clients are from Keller Williams, right? So you have to understand the branding guidelines of each brokerages kasi pag nakita yan ng mga real estate professional brokerages nila, yung mga ginagawa ninyong templates para sa mga clients ninyo, tapos hindi siya nakapaloob sa branding guidelines nila, mayayari yung mga clients ninyo, right? I have experience po kasi skip tracing sa real estate. Yes. So, skip tracing, anong gamit ninyo? There's a lot of skip tracing materials na ginagamit. Merong REI skip, merong prop stream, Merong Spokio, white pages for skip tracing. 'Di ba? So, at saka anong kinukuha mo as a skip tracer? May mga skip tracer kasi na ang pinapahanap ay seller's information, like the name of the seller, their property address, their mailing address, their phone numbers, and their emails. Meron din namang mga skip tracers na ang pinapahanap ay mga lenders, right? So, information ng lending company. May mga skip tracers na ang pinapahanap ay mga real estate photographers or stagers or real estate professionals. It really depends. Pwedeng credit repair specialist yung pinapahanap sa inyo, right? So, if you have an experience, that's a good thing. It's one of the skills that you can offer as a real estate virtual assistant. Okay, may mga questions pa ba tayo? I think that's that. Meron pa ba guys before I end the live video? And sino mga pupunta next week? Ang tahimik sa YouTube, wala masyadong magko-comment. So next week again, branding tayo. Branding for Reba. That's what we are going to talk about and we are hoping to see you. Property management po, antayin ko po yun sa YouTube. Okay, John. I'm gonna put that in my note. Possibly after the branding. Kasi branding yung last request sa akin. So after the branding, let's discuss property management. All right. Awesome day, everybody. It's yes, si Nico. Nico, balik tayo social media. Right? So, Nico, I'm gonna tell you what time later as well. Naka more than 1 hour pala akong live. I'm so sorry. There you go, guys. Thank you so much for this episode. And we'll see you again next week. Have a great day. Bye.